weekend are Minnesota playing Tom Brady in Tampa off a bye. Pittsburgh at Buffalo on Sunday Night Football is a really good Sunday Night Football game. And then Baltimore at Cleveland on Monday Night Football. And there's a reason I'm going to watch those games. So I do a Super Bowl bubble. I do it about once a month. These are the teams I think, and some of them are coming off an ugly loss. Some have an injury I don't like, but they have enough things, I think, that make them a Super Bowl eligible team. So my Super Bowl bubble right now has Buffalo, Kansas City in the AFC, then the Rams, Green Bay, Saints, and Seattle. I know Seattle's coming off an ugly loss, but I like them right now. Now, the three teams I have on the outside, the perimeter of it, are the three teams in the three biggest games. If they win or do something that I don't think they're capable of, then they're in. And that would give us 9 Super Bowl teams. And again, one of these could lose this weekend and be out. So let's take Tampa. They're 1-3 since Antonio Brown arrived. It doesn't fit. They feel like they're forcing it. They're inconsistent. They're off a bye. Arians and Brady are both great off buys. Strangely, December buys are not as effective as October and November buys in the NFL. It's weird. It's a betting thing. December buys usually aren't as reliable. But if Tampa comes out and can't show me they've used these 10 to 14 days to kind of give me an identity offensively. You know, the Patriots system for years was we don't collect players, we build teams. Right now, Tampa looks like they've collected a bunch of players. I don't feel like there's a symmetry between run game, pass game. So I need to see them not only beat Minnesota, even if it's narrow, but do I feel like offensively, oh, this is what they are. They've got an identity. I don't know what their personality is on offense. Let's talk Pittsburgh. They can't run the football. They're absurdly reliant on Big Ben. Big Ben in his career is a 500 quarterback since he entered this league when asked to throw over 35 times a game. When asked to throw under it, he's won 4 to 5 games. Can they run the ball a little against Buffalo? Can they go on the road with an equal team and a young Big Ben, Josh Allen, and get a little bit of a running game? Because if you're asking them to throw in Buffalo in December 51 times, you're not a Super Bowl team. The third is Cleveland. First of all, I think they have the best offensive line in the league, and PFF says, at least they did last week, it's the best run blocking and pass blocking. That's really rare. That's the Cowboys about 4 years ago. That is really rare. And that ensures that Baker's going to have time, they have a running game, and they're going to win a bunch of games. Trent Dilfer said this years ago, everybody in the NFL, when they lose, acts the same. They're pissed, they put their head down, they're focused. What do you do when you win? That's the difference. Some guys buy this, some guys do that, some guys, they lose focus. So Cleveland just had, in my opinion, their biggest win in, I don't even know how many years, 10, 15? Like, go to Tennessee, a team that was lightning in a bottle last year, Vrabel's very respected, Derrick Henry, and really crush them for the first hour and a half of the football game. Just roll them over. But then Cleveland was awful in the second half, and what are they going to do now? Monday Night Football, standalone game. The nation is turning in to see you against a divisional rival. If they put back-to-back wins together, and this is the big TV game. This isn't getting lost on a Sunday. This is everybody's going home to watch Baker and the Browns, and it's divisional rival. They're off their biggest win. If they go out, and they don't even actually, to me, have to win. Can they be turnover-free? Can they look energized? Can they be focused? Can they be low on penalties? 26-24 either way, I'm like, okay, that's a grown-up, because Baltimore's a real team. I think Baltimore's better than people think. They're a real team. And if Cleveland wins or is really looks smart and like adult, like they're into a Super Bowl bubble. So that's where we stand today. Now, Joy's got another story. It's not worth more than a couple of minutes, but it is an interesting story. The Final Four in college football right now are Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. Dabo Swinney was asked about Ohio State, which only played 5 games, and he responded with what, Joy Taylor?
Well, he said, he's a coach, so, it doesn't really matter. But if he was on a committee, he said he thinks there just has to be some type of standard. If I was on a committee, it would be hard for me to leave out a 10-1 Texas A&M or an 11-game Florida team over a team that's played 6 games. That would be hard for me if I was on a committee, but I'm not on the committee, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes, this is a fair argument. Now, I do think the eye test matters. I know people, it's elitist. It's not elitist. Having eyes is not elitist. You have them too. I don't believe that's elitist. I do believe Ohio State, based on recruiting, performance, their wins, it's a crazy year, COVID. I think you just have to adjust, figure it out. The Big Ten did. I would put them in. But I will say, if Florida, Dan Mullen, an unbelievable coach with an NFL quarterback, Kyle Trask, played Ohio State, I think it's a very good football game, and it's a go-either-way game. I would take Ohio State, but it's a go-either-way game. It would be one thing if you looked at Florida, sized them up, and you didn't think they had a good coach, and they had a non-NFL quarterback, and you were like, Ohio State would win this game. The line would be around 3 points. So you've got a world-class coach at Florida and an NFL quarterback in the first round. There's going to be those that argue Florida over. Like, I get it. Like, that's a legitimate argument. I would take Ohio State, but I get the Florida argument and Dabo's argument. Oh, God. The Clemson, Ohio State play. I can't wait. Blazing 5 on a Friday. Next.
On the news, this is the Herdline News.
Oh, by the way, Whitworth hurt, coming back. And they have a great left tackle from TCU backing him up, who played really well last night.
Their offensive line looked great.
Looked fantastic.
Got sacked one time last night, I think.
Yeah.
That stadium is amazing.
Oh, my God. It is unbelievable.
It's great.
I feel so bad. You get a new stadium, and nobody can go to it in L.A. And L.A. is very restrictive compared to other states. Like, it's like beyond restrictive.
No, specifically just Los Angeles, too. Like, not even
Orange County. Right, just L.A. County.
We are the only place on Earth, well, not on Earth, in America where COVID still exists. So Baker Mayfield is coming off his best game of the season, throwing over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the win over the Titans.
Yeah.
And the Browns GM, Andrew Berry, was very impressed with the growth that he has shown in his third NFL season.
I think Baker deserves a lot of credit in terms of how he's approached this year. I don't know that the challenge of going into a third offensive system, no offseason, can be appreciated enough externally. That's no easy task for any player, let alone a young quarterback. I think everyone can see his growth really from quarter to quarter to quarter over the course of the season. And he certainly deserves a lot of credit for the work that he's put in.
Yeah, no, I think he does. I totally agree. Now, it does help. I think their offensive line right now this morning is the best in the NFL, and I don't think it's really arguable. So, not taken away, but that is a huge part of this league. When Dak came into this league as a rookie, and that Cowboys had the best O-line in the league by a long shot, he went 13-3. When you can't get to the quarterback.
And Zeke looked different as well.
Yeah, Zeke looks really average right now.
Well, I mean, when you look around the league, who are quarterbacks that you think could make it work with just an average offensive line? I think Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he would still not have the numbers he's having now.
I think Russell Wilson is doing it with an average O-line.
Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, they would just have to rely on the running game more.
Aaron Rodgers has a quick release, so he would do okay.
But he doesn't like to get hit, though.
Josh Allen for Buffalo.
Yes.
But
so there's only a handful of guys that really, if you don't have a solid offensive line, are not going to be able to do what they do.
It unravels almost everybody.
Right. So, there's a lot of factors. And similarly, Carson Wentz, that's a factor in what's going on with Carson Wentz as well, which is why, his teammates are coming out saying it's not all him. But you do still have to go out there and perform, and Baker is doing that. Not only has he done everything that they've asked him to do, he did show in that last game that he's able to throw the ball still if they need him to do that as well. And that's what you want to be. You want to be a team that can win multiple ways. The Titans are a good team. They're very inconsistent, but they are still a good team, and that was the best win that they've had. They should be thrilled with where they are. They're 9-3. They are a good team. I'm not going to put them at great yet. They're second in the AFC North, obviously, to the Steelers.
If they beat the Ravens this weekend,
it's a Monday night game. That's a great Monday night game.
You start getting to a point where